Hey folks, this is Chris Crazy House, and this is going to be my review for the movie Suicide Squad. I went to see Suicide Squad over the weekend, and I wasn't expecting much from it. I had heard about all the negative reviews that the movie had gotten before it came out, and just some of the negative press that it got before it came out. But I like to decide things for myself, so I went to go see it. And I'm sitting there watching the movie, and I'm waiting for it to get bad, waiting for it to get worse, waiting for it to turn into the worst movie of all time, as some hyperbole and over the top reviewers have put it. And I did not see that. In my honest opinion, it was a decent movie, a decent summer superhero movie. I really couldn't find too many flaws with it, but like I said, I was not expecting a lot either. Now, is it the best comic book movie? Of course not. Is it the worst comic book movie or just the worst movie ever? No, most definitely it is not. I would just put it at it's a decent, fun movie to go watch for the summer. As visually is very stunning. I love the character designs, and I was one of the people originally who wasn't really sure how this hyper realistic style was going to work, but sitting there watching it and seeing it in motion and not just seeing still pictures, I have to say I really like the character designs for the majority of the characters in the movie. It took a good slice of the classic characters from the comic book and kind of modernized them or gave them more of a street urban look. And I sort of appreciated that. In fact, if a negative thing I could say about the movie, I would say that might be a little bit negative because I have similar concepts that I would like to produce one day that has that sort of hyper realized, cartoonish, but also street type look. Kind of reminds me of some of the newer animes I've seen over the last 5 or 6 years. But my overall impression, if I had to give this movie a grade, I really don't do grades, I would give it a B. I put it on par with movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool. Movies that are not super great in my opinion, but they're a fun movie to watch and sit and watch. And if you enjoy the characters, you'll enjoy the movie. Or if you enjoy the comic book, you'll enjoy the movie. That's if you are an actual comic book fan. Sometimes obscure characters like these that people don't know about, they don't really enjoy the movie. They only know the mainstream characters, so sometimes they can't get into stuff where they don't know who the characters are. But on to my review. The overall story of Suicide Squad is about this government agent named Amanda Waller, played by the lovely Viola Davis, who puts together a team of supervillains to go out and fight metahumans that the government considers a danger to national security. First and foremost, just let me say about Amanda Waller, and I think this is the role that Viola Davis was made for. I've always appreciated her acting. It's nice that she's actually starting to get more credit and more roles because she's been around for a long time. It's nice to see that she's actually starting to get the accolades that she deserves as an actress. But this role was tailor-made for her, and I won't spoil it, but I'll just say that Amanda Waller is just one cold bitch in the movie, and it perfectly fits the character from the comics. Other characters I can talk about, let's talk about the most popular ones. Deadshot, played by Will Smith. I thought he did a good job. You know, sometimes Will Smith is so over the top that he can kind of put me off when I watch him in certain films, but I do feel he's matured over the years as an actor. I wouldn't call him the greatest actor or the greatest character actor or nothing like that, but he works for this movie, and I feel he does ground it very well because a lot of the story centers around him as far as like his backstory. He's one of the characters that's given 3 dimensions and is very fleshed out in the movie, and you get to see other characters that flesh out his story, most namely his daughter that he has. I thought he did some very cool action sequences as well. I would not give that away. Definitely go check it out. and see some of the badassery, because he has some very good action sequences with the way, of course, the way he shoots, because Deadshot is all about getting off that crack shot and hitting the bullseye all the time. Of course, the other big character was Harley Quinn. I know a lot of people went to go see this movie just for her. This is the first time we've ever seen Harley Quinn in a live action movie. And I thought the actress pulled it off well. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, and I apologize for that. But I thought the actress pulled it off very well, and and she's had some funny scenes. I would say she's good for comic relief, but in a weird way, she feels kind of 3 or 4 different roles, because I guess she is the sexy character in the movie. She's also the comic relief. But in my opinion, she's also a character I feel sorry for, because she just has this weird obsession with the Joker. And you kind of know that their love is not going to end very well. It's almost very dangerous to see them together just because of what they'll do or what can happen. It can almost be compared to anyone who knows a real life relationship between Bonnie and Clyde, or Sid and Nancy, the guy Sid Vicious from that punk rock group from back in the 80s, the late 70s, early 80s. I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head either. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. I'm drawing a blank on certain names, but that's what their relationship of Joker and Harley Quinn kind of reminds me of. But I thought she did a good job and a good representation of Harley Quinn. I'm eager to see more, because of course the character survives to the end. They're not going to kill her off, but it'll be nice to see what they do with her and Joker later on. Of course, the other big character is the Joker, played by Jared Leto. Now this is, I can't remember, is this the 4th or 5th time we've seen a Joker in a movie or any type of adaptation of Batman or the DC universe on screen? And I thought his interpretation was great. I'm kind of glad they went for a different look and a different feel than trying to do the same thing as Heath Ledger's Joker, which a lot of people think is iconic now, even though I remember the fanboys were downing it before it ever came out, just like they do every other movie, but that's neither here nor there. I enjoyed his Joker because this Joker is, it has the crazy of Ledger's Joker, but he's also a crime boss, more in line with Jack Nicholson's Joker or some of the comic versions of the Joker, where he does rule a criminal organization and he does it right. And he's not just about anarchy, even though I don't think he has any real purpose just to keep causing trouble and get what he wants. He's the ultimate id, and while he's not the main villain of the movie, to me, he literally plays the wild card, just like the Joker card is in a deck of cards, where things seem to be going right for the Suicide Squad or for the team or for America or whatever, and then the Joker pops up and will screw it all up. I know a lot of people are complaining that he wasn't in the movie very much, considering how much they used this Joker for advertising, but I thought he was used well enough, and I'm sure there'll be more scenes in the Blu-ray. From what I understand, Jared Leto was saying there's literally enough footage where you can almost do a Joker movie by itself. It's because he would do multiple takes and kind of give multiple views and multiple understandings of the Joker within each scene, just so the people would have enough to put into the editing, or some could just end up on the cutting room floor. But I would definitely like to see what else he had in the movie, especially from what I understand, especially the second half of the film. He was more in it, but they cut a lot of that out. Now, I will say one character that surprised me that I was not expecting to be that good is the character Diablo. I was expecting him to be more one-dimensional and not much to the character, just a character that shoots fire and has cool tattoos, but I thought he had a very cool backstory to him, and I won't spoil it, but by the end he does a lot more than just shoot fire. So that turned out to be an extremely cool scene, and like I said, I was surprised by that. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that, because I don't know if they spoiled it in trailers or if some reviewer or someone else spoiled it. I don't really read early reviews. I don't watch trailers and I don't watch TV spots. So for me, I saw the original trailer for Suicide Squad months ago, and I just went to watch the movie cold. And I think that's probably why I enjoy my movie experience a lot more than the average fanboy, because my head is not full of all types of information, misinformation, and misconceptions about a film. I just sit and watch it and judge it based on its merit, not based on what other people are saying about the film. And that's why I'm usually surprised by what I see, because nothing's been spoiled for me when I go see it. Captain Boomerang was a fun character. He was funny, more visually funny in some of the things he would do and say, and getting other characters into trouble. I won't give away too much on that. Killer Croc was another good character. Now, I had forgotten that Killer Croc is supposed to be black, and I'm kind of glad that they left him that way in this movie universe, because the only time I ever really seen him portrayed that way is in the graphic novel Joker, and they portrayed him as black, and that was the first time I had ever seen that or even thought of that concept. But maybe they've done it somewhere else, or if they do it in the New 52, or Rebirth as it's called now, but I'm not sure when that actually started, where he's supposed to be ethnically black. But I did appreciate he's played by the brother that played Adebisi in the show Oz. Very good character actor, by the way. It's nice to see him do some other types of work other than just playing background or just a criminal or something else. But I thought it was fun. Now, another negative I can say about Suicide Squad is they put Killer Croc in there, but as a fan of the Suicide Squad comic and concept, I kind of wanted to see King Shark. I know they do King Shark on the Flash CW TV show, and that's probably why they didn't want to use him for the movie also, because Killer Croc is just more popular with your casual fan who watched Batman the Animated Series or who plays the Arkham Asylum games. They know more about Killer Croc than they do King Shark. But that's a small criticism from me, because I just love the character King Shark, and I would have liked to see him in the movie. Maybe a sequel will see him. The only character I thought was kind of forced in there and just came out of nowhere was the character of Katana. I just thought that was very strange. For, like, literally she shows up right before they get on the plane to go on the mission, and they kind of just rushingly explain her backstory, where everyone else has had this big lead up into their backstory and what they are, what they can do, and what their motivations are, and then she just shows up. Now, she handles herself very well in fights and in certain scenes, but it seemed like they just crammed her in there just to have her, because they forgot to write an actual story. Maybe there's a different edited version where they show more of her backstory before we get to that point where the team is put together. As far as the villain goes of the film, Enchantress, I really liked her and her brother. I thought the way they designed her is very creepy and very ghoulish looking. I wasn't expecting that at all either, because I didn't know. I'm familiar with the original design for that character, so I wasn't expecting to see that on the screen. Almost didn't even know who the character was until they said her name. I was like, oh, okay. But I do like the new design for her. I thought it was cool. Like I said, I like the design for her brother and the way he used his powers. I won't give too much away. I know a lot of people are complaining and saying this villain is not memorable or whatever. Some guy even got mad at one of my comments online saying that I said this movie had a better villain than Guardians of the Galaxy. And not that I don't like Ronan the Accuser. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters. But I thought he was mishandled in that movie. And then they just got rid of him like he was nothing. And this is supposed to be a super ultra powerful character that usually it takes the whole Avengers to even knock him down, much less defeat. But they did not do him justice in the actual Guardians of the Galaxy movie, in my opinion. So this villain was a lot better and had more connection to the team, because she has a relationship with the leader of the team, Captain Flag. And you can see their relationship, and essentially their relationship is what causes the trouble in the first place, and that brings a little bit more drama towards the end when they have to decide what they're going to do with her, or when the rest of the team discovers that Flag and the enemy, the Enchantress, have this relationship. So, like I said, overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was decent. Was it the greatest? No. That's rarefied air to begin with as far as comic book movies go. Is it the worst? No. And to me, I don't really understand some of the criticisms people give, because if you just don't like it, I'd rather you just leave it at that than give dumb excuses that make no sense. Because some of the excuses I hear almost make me think that some of these people did not actually see the movie, or that they might just be a plant, especially with some of the weird comments I see online. I'm going to do a separate video about that, the whole controversy about either reviewers being paid off or plants or whatever, especially against some of the DC movies, because some of the stuff that's been said, while some stuff might be accurate, other things just seem a little over the top and biased when they try to mark these down as the worst movies they've ever seen. I reserve that for films that you see on Sci-Fi Channel, or films that you see on being made fun of on Mystery Science Theater, not these movies like BVS or Suicide Squad. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed my review. If you want to watch more, please subscribe to the channel. I got a lot of new stuff coming in the late fall and next year especially. So, hope you enjoyed it, and Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.